Hi, there's Miss Bourne again. Welcome to Lesson 5, Proctored Exams. So what does that mean? Proctored exam. Now you know what an exam is, right? Proctored means that you have a proctor or a person that's watching you to make sure that you don't cheat. Basically, this person is there to supervise your exam. Make sure that you don't look up answers in your book or on the internet or ask someone or bring them with you. So how do you find a proctor? Well, you got to ask around. It's up to you who your proctor is going to be. You need to ask a teacher, a counselor from your school, a librarian, a principal, assistant principal. Some type of educator would be the best person to proctor, but it doesn't have to be an educator. What if you don't attend a public or private school, or there's no one there that can help you? Well, you can go to a public library. Any librarian can be a proctor. You can ask someone from your church, maybe a pastor, a youth pastor, priest. Maybe if your parents or a family member is in the military and you live on a military base, you could ask the chaplain. There are lots of people that could be a proctor. What you need to do is find someone that is suitable, approach them, ask them if they'll do it, and then give them a form. We will email it to you that they fill out. That way we will have their name, their address, their phone number, and their email. That is the most important thing. So, for instance, let's say you're working along in your English 2 class and you're almost ready for that midterm exam, and it says this is a proctored exam. So that means you've got to contact your proctor and make an appointment with them to take that test. That proctor just needs to let us know when that appointment is going to be so that we can set the exam to unlock on that date and at that time. Let me share my screen with you and maybe this will make a little more sense. All right, so we're in the orientation course and we're on lesson 5, but what I want to show you are these pictures here. It says this is a proctored exam. So whenever you get to a proctored exam, you will see this. That way you'll know that it's a proctored exam. And what your proctor will do is use the following link to schedule this exam. And this is a calendar app. They will have to do this, not you. Your proctor will go to this website and they will make an appointment for whatever date and time you and your proctor agree on. We really don't care when it is, as long as your proctor makes the appointment 48 hours or more in advance. So notice today is the 19th when I'm recording this, but I can't schedule the exam for the 19th or the 20th. The program goes out 48 hours. Your proctor can schedule the exam on any day and at any time. We really don't care. If you want to meet with a proctor at 10 o'clock at night and take your exam, that's your business. We just need the proctor to go to that website, which we will send it to them once you let us know who the proctor is and we agree and approve of that proctor. We will send them an email with a link to that calendar website so that they can go and set up the appointment time. And then someone from our office will log into your class and set it so that your exam appears on that day and at that time. So it's important to understand this process and to coordinate with your proctor. Make sure you get the information to us because we don't want you to show up at your proctor's office or workplace or your school or the library or whatever and the exam not to show up. So that's why we request 48 hours in advance so that we can have the computer properly set to allow that exam to appear at that time. So what happens when you take your test? Well, one thing that you've got to do is fill out the exam authenticity form, which looks like this, and you and your proctor will sign it. So it's best to print this form off so that everyone can fill in the date and time and the name of the exam that you took, the name of the course, the name of the exam, and be careful when you're setting your appointment even. Be sure you tell your proctor exactly which class and exactly which exam that you need to take. So for instance, if you're taking English 3 and you get to the midterm, be sure you tell your proctor that this is English 3. Don't just say, hey, I'm ready to take my English test. They don't know which English. What if they're proctoring for a lot of different people and they forget that you're in English 3 and not English 2 or something? We need to know exactly which class. What if you're taking 6 different classes with us? We need to know exactly which class, and we need to know which exam. So how many exams are there in classes? Usually there are only two proctored exams, the midterm and the final. Some of our classes don't even have any proctored exams, so if you're in one of those classes, you don't even have to worry about this. But most of them do. Most of them have a midterm exam and a final exam that are proctored. So be sure that you, 1, understand what a proctored exam is. It means that the test is locked and that you've got to have someone else request to unlock it who agrees to supervise you, and we've got to approve of that person. Number 2, be sure that you and your proctor understand that they've got to set the appointment at least 48 hours in advance so that we have time to set the computer to unlock that particular test on that particular day. And number 3, be sure that you and your proctor fill out the exam authenticity form and email or fax it back to the office so that you can get credit for that exam. If we see that you've taken an exam and we don't get that form signed by your proctor that says they supervised you during that exam, we're not going to give you the grade that you earn. We're going to give you a 0. That exam authenticity form is part of your grade. You've got to fax it back or email it to get credit for that exam. Hopefully this has made some sense. Hopefully you understand now what a proctored exam is. If you have any trouble finding a proctor or getting access to the forms or signing up for your appointment to take your exam or accessing the test, be sure you email or call our office to let us know. There is one more thing that I want to mention before I end this video. I'm back in lesson 5 and I want you to look at this little puppy. When you take the final exam before submitting all assignments, when you take the final exam after submitting all assignments. What does this mean? This means that any assignments not completed before the final exam is taken will receive a grade of 0. You can't just jump around in your classes and expect to do well, and you can't jump to the final exam and take it and expect that you can just skip all of the work. It doesn't work that way. If you don't turn in an assignment and you jump ahead and take the final exam, your teacher will know that you're finished with the class, and they will go back and enter grades for everything that you skipped, and they will enter 0s. Please don't take the final exam until you've completed all the work in the class. I hope this is clear. If you have any questions, you can contact our office.